Live life by choice, not requirement. There's only one way to get there from here. Be the resource your community needs. Welcome to the Relax, I Got This podcast and start crushing it with your tribe with host Robin McCoy. Here's your host.
Hi, I'm Robin McCoy, Texas Realtor and Tribe Builder. Welcome to Relax, I Got This, Crushing It with Your Tribe, where we share real talk about building business and life relationships. As a Texas Realtor, I'm in the unique position to meet and know so many different people in a wide range of industries. These people are my tribe, and I leverage them not only to help my business, but to help theirs as well. And today, we have roofer extraordinaire, Mr. Grant Alexander.
Hey, how are you?
I am great. I'm great. And we are going to talk about some of the things about taking care of your home today. You know, the whole real estate thing, there's a lot to it. And sometimes it's not just buying and selling, but it's taking care of the asset that you have.
Absolutely. Especially with insurance companies are doing some interesting things. So you want to make sure you stay on top of your roof.
Yeah, so to speak.
Yes.
Yeah, it's going to get real corny in here.
Yes.
So Grant Alexander, he has been with Absolute Construction for 6 years. He specializes in residential and commercial roof inspections, navigating insurance claims, and project management. Now, what Grant most enjoys about his business is the opportunity to create simple solutions for customers and to deliver top-notch service. Prior to his career in roofing, Grant spent 5 years as a personal trainer and 6 years in physician staffing. Grant has been married to the lovely Misty Alexander for 10 years. They have 2 sons, Nolan, age 7, and Jacob, age 8. He enjoys fitness, golf, cooking, and time spent with his friends. Now, there is one item on his bucket list, that is to travel to Ireland to see the coast, the castles, and play some of the oldest golf courses in the world.
Yep. I just want to put that out into the universe.
That's, you know what? And that's what we do here, right?
Around. Yes, for sure.
So what got me, you know, I think one of the things that I, you know, sometimes when I do this show, it's because I run into something in my business, and if it happens more than once or twice, there's a theme that goes, and I'm like, all right, we got to address this. And recently, I've had a couple of transactions where we've had sellers, and everything's fine. They just have no idea that their roof is bad, old, because it's not leaking. And so then they get a surprise that there's this thing that needs to be taken care of before we can close a transaction.
Now, I enjoy these folks. I call them procrastinators because what typically happens, you have your hailstorm. You have a major hail event. We had one in Frisco 2 months ago, and you have roofers come in. They're swarming. It's like Halloween. They're trick-or-treating, knocking on doors. I had one of my customers, an insurance referral. I just got off the roof, and I was meeting with them, and I've worked for them before, and another roofer had come up with the ladder, just like, hey, I'll beat whatever he's doing, etc. And my customer just kind of says, just please leave. So, you know, they're out there. But the procrastinators are great because they're like, they know there was a storm. They got all the advertisements. They got all the door knockers, and life happens.
Sure. And
you don't, you know, when you're driving around, the little check engine light will come on.
Sure.
There's no check roof light in your on your
kitchen,
on your iPad in your house. It just says
nothing's electronic about that.
And then you have to, you know, you'd have to take it into somebody and tell them to turn the light off.
Yeah.
We have offered roof maintenance programs in the past.
Yeah.
And we do a lot of tune-ups whenever we do an inspection on a roof, and there's just some obvious low-hanging fruit that we can take care of to prevent further damage. You know, we'll offer a tune-up and go in and knock out a bunch of stuff, preventative maintenance. The preventative maintenance contract, similar like you would have with like pest control, where somebody's coming out there twice a year, or you know, monthly, checking the boxes, checking everything. It hasn't really caught on. People, it's, you know, it's out of sight, it's above sight, out of mind.
Yeah.
But then when the you know, the real estate transaction happens, it's going to be increasingly difficult, because one of the things the insurance companies are doing, and it's in the contract, and it's very reasonable, is that you have a window from a storm to take care of your roof, to file a
Right.
claim. And as the further it gets away from that time, the more that, the damage is going to be, it's going to be on the homeowner to address that. It's negligence, or, it's not negligence, but life gets in the way, and
Well, again, you don't
car broke
think about
down, you had a vacation,
Yeah.
your kids are doing this and that, they broke an arm, and just stuff comes up, and again, you're not seeing it. And then you get around to it, and it's like, whoa, this has to be done. Stops you in your tracks. Very fortunately, and knock on wood, I'm not going to knock on the table because I've been told not to do that. But we have been able to, anytime the situation has come up, we've been able to get it approved and get it turned around, installed before closing.
Yeah.
It's not an issue either to do after closing. It's a little more of a headache for us tracking down the money and those pesky HOAs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
that's another story.
And that goes into it too, right? I mean, again, we talk about, you go and you buy this house and you get very excited about it. And, when there's a drippy faucet, you take care of it because you see it and you hear it. A tree falls down in the yard in the storm, so you take care of that. But you don't, that hail wasn't that bad. It was just
leaking.
there's not there's not any shingles on my driveway.
Yep.
There's no water coming in.
Yeah.
So
I
that
have
you
a
just
$7,000 deductible.
and well, and that's the other thing, that we need to, that people don't understand about how insurance works and how how insurance works and how they are going to address things and what that cost is going to be.
And there's a timeline in there.
Yeah, and the timeline.
That's another thing that we can talk about, what to expect. Because homeowners, if you haven't been through it, you have no idea what to expect. You have no idea how to read your insurance paperwork.
Nobody reads it anyway. We had Todd Campbell of Farmers here, in a previous episode, just talking about the policy.
Oh,
And he said, you know what, just, you get a free agent with every policy. So just call your agent and ask them to decipher that for you.
yes.
Because by the time I come out, I've sold your house, I got you under contract, then there's an inspection, and they say, holy cow, of course, the whole thing, the world's falling apart because there's hail damage on this house. Oh, my word. So then I call you, and Grant I trust him. He does not try and put a roof on a house that doesn't need it. He'll offer to repair what needs to be repaired, and then it's good. So, he'll walk it and he'll call me and he'll say, you're fine. Or there's 4 shingles that need to be replaced. Let's do that. And then we're good. So we got to take a break.
Okay.
And then we're going to talk about some of that insurance stuff.
Okay. Awesome.
Okay. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back to Relax I Got This, Crushing It With Your Tribe on the OBBM Network.
Still doing your own audio and video media?
If you're creating your own video series, TV, podcast, and ad files, you're not focused on your business.
Your community needs you to keep being awesome, while professionals take care of audio and video details.
Bet you didn't know your show could have a studio audience with Q&A.
And applause.
Take your TV and podcast show to the next level. Focus on managing the business end of your inner celebrity.
Get over here to the OBBN Network studios at Grace Point Media in Farmers Branch.
Discover 3 state-of-the-art television studios.
2 podcast studios equipped for multiple participants and audience guests.
OBBM Network Studios at Grace Point Media is the highest level of set direction, audio-video production quality, network programming, and broadcasting for your business.
Your message could be in front of people you want to reach right here in DFW and beyond.
Call 214-714-0495 to talk through your ideas now. 214-714-0495. It's time to make media work for you. Every business needs a dependable junk hauling service to keep their property clutter-free. Call 630-470-8307. Junk Luggers offers a wide range of eco-friendly residential and commercial junk removal services to help your business run smoothly and efficiently. Book your no-obligation estimate with Junk Luggers today. Banks and credit unions have unique junk, and Junk Luggers knows the business. Professional organizers, senior living communities, we're helping everyone clean up and start new. If you're redecorating, remodeling, or getting ready for new tenants, Junk Luggers will donate, recycle, and do our best to keep it out of the landfill. Call 630-470-8307. That's 630-470-8307 today.
Welcome back to Relax, I Got This, Crushing with Your Tribe, where we share real talk about building business and life relationships. We are here with Grant Alexander of Absolute Construction. I can't say that. And we're just talking about taking care of probably one of your greatest assets, and that is the home you live in. So whether it's a 1,400 square feet or 14,000 square foot house, you got to take care of all the parts, and the roof is one of them.
Absolutely. Let's get into the insurance.
Yeah. How does that work?
So,
or how does that work for you?
Well,
and a roof, but won't my rates go up and all that?
Well, all right. So a couple of things that we get is, yes, we don't want to file a claim because our rate's going to go up. But if you're selling your house, it doesn't matter. And guess what? Your rates are going up anyways because everyone else is doing a roof in the neighborhood. And
it's an act of God. So it's not like a car when you run into the post.
You didn't run your house into the hail.
Exactly. That so those acts of God change the way the insurance company looks at it.
One of the biggest misconceptions is still get it. It's the craziest thing. Homeowners say, well, I called my agent and they said to get 3 estimates. Well, the estimate comes from the insurance company. So one, that's
how much they're going to pay.
Yeah.
Regardless of what you charge. So this is what we're paying.
If you've had a hailstorm, talk to your broker because they might be able to refer somebody to inspect it first before you file a claim. If you do file a claim, basically you're calling the 1-800 number. Your agent's not filing it for you. You're calling the 1-800 number. So in the case of a real estate transaction, you file your claim, they're going to contact you. They'll have an adjuster contact you within 48 to 72 hours to schedule the appointment. So 3 to 5 days could go by. So if you're in option period, if you're navigating all that, closing, trying to plan for a move, it gets wonky.
Yeah.
So you're going to need your contractor there to meet the adjuster. Depending on the insurance company, they might sit down, knock out the exactimate estimate that in 45 minutes. We've been fortunate with that lately. So Xactimate is the software that we use as contractors and that the insurance company uses. It's apples to apples comparison. It's materials and labor for that zip code, and it's updated every month.
Okay.
So it's a constantly moving, and it's going to give you the right numbers. So the insurance company, they're going to put together the estimate. Your responsibility as a homeowner is going to be your deductible.
Right.
So there's, in the past, in September 1st, 2019, it was the deductible law came in.
Right.
And now they're auditing deductibles. So they're wanting to see copies of checks.
Let's explain what that deductible law is real quickly, because I know somebody like, well, this guy said he'd do it for just the deductible.
It's still happening.
Is it?
I ran into this about 2 weeks ago, a referral of mine. I was walking the property. I got up on the roof. There's some weird chalk marks and just things that weren't making sense up there. And I was like, he had somebody up here already. And I see a truck pull up next to me and the guy's getting out. And so I'm walking and he nice guy. He says, hey, are you the contractor or the adjuster? I said, contractor. And he's like, yeah, I've been on that roof. It's pretty bad. And I was like, well, it's got some hail. It's not pretty bad. And so I asked, I was like, are you having any luck, in the neighborhood? And he said, yeah, I've signed up 8 so far. I was like, wow, that's awesome, man. Congratulations. And when I called the homeowner afterwards just to give him, what was going on. He said, yeah. I said, I think I met the guy that got on your roof. He's like, yeah, he came up to me and said, hey, you won't have to pay your deductible at all. I'll take care of everything. So it's still going on.
Okay.
The homeowner and the contractor are now liable for committing insurance fraud. Before September 1st, 2019, it was kind of the wild, wild west. You could do really whatever you want. But they're definitely cracking down on that. And you just don't want that. I've been in situations where I'm inspecting a roof and they're thinking it's damage from like a real estate transaction. Mm-hmm. Like, no, this is just a poorly installed cheap roof. And insurance isn't going to do anything about it. And I can tell, like, okay, you went really cheap somewhere because they reused a lot of the ventilation. They put it on in the middle of summer. Sometimes you have to do that. But if you're putting a roof on when it's 100 105 degrees outside. It's 140, 150 on the roof. So a boot's going to mess up a shingle. You see, foot marks and everything. And it's not good.
Yeah.
I prefer to do May, June, and then also in the fall.
Right.
Majority of my work, because it helps me mentally. I can just plan. I'm going to batch all my roofs in May, June, September, October, November, even like December, January. If you're doing real estate transactions with Texas weather, you can still
get that done.
Yeah, great roof. But getting back to the real estate transaction, so if you're lucky, you get your paperwork within 45 minutes. You send it to your contractor. He reviews it to make sure it's adequate. If it is, you're scheduling your roof. You're doing the install probably, best case 3 to 5 days.
Yeah.
Sometimes 7 to 10 days. Now, in our most recent situation, we had the HOA who, the HOA is going to require all this paperwork. And they said, it's 30 days to review this, and we're closing in 4.
Yeah.
So we're like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, let's just put the roof on. Ask for forgiveness instead of permission.
Exactly. So the other thing, too, is you get your the homeowner is going to get their first check. There might be a mortgage company listed on it.
Yeah.
They have to get that check endorsed.
Yeah, there's a lot that goes on.
I had a real estate transaction like that where it took the mortgage company took 3 months.
3 months?
To endorse the check. So we did it anyways, but we didn't get paid on it for 3 months.
Wow.
So there's a lot of different scenarios that can happen in the real estate transaction insurance claim.
Yeah.
So if you're working with somebody that doesn't really know how to navigate that and not anticipate all those things, you could be in for some trouble. I do have another story on a real estate transaction. It's very interesting. I'd like to talk about that next.
Yeah, let's talk about that next. We're going to take that short break, and we'll be back to Relax I Got This, crushing it with your tribe on the OBBM network.
Everybody loves music, but not everybody knows what it can do for you. I'm sure you've noticed issues like anxiety, depression, and addiction are up. At Chester Squared Music Therapy Services, we understand. We have a seasoned staff with almost 30 years of experience dealing with clients with Alzheimer's, PTSD, addiction recovery, pervasive developmental disorders, post-accident rehab, and head trauma. We have experience in the local school district special ed departments, psychiatric hospitals, rehab facilities, medical and counseling centers. For those who are struggling to break free of the 9-to-5 rut, I've developed my groundbreaking Power of a Positive playlist system, taught in local psychiatric and rehab facilities successfully for years, and it's helped thousands of people. If, like many people, you struggle with boundaries, inner voices, relationships, and practical spirituality, anxiety, and panic attacks, improve your life through the power of music therapy. I'm a published author of 2 books and available to speak at conferences, seminars, and corporate events. Go to ivorchester.com today. That's IVOR Chester.com. Go now.
Be the leader you know you can be. Build your professional network and access education that takes you where you want to go. We are women of all ages and backgrounds. You deserve national recognition and opportunities to build relationships with people you want to work and grow with. Hit the ground running with the Charisma chapter of the American Business Women's Association. Meetings each month from 6 to 8:30 p.m. on the 4th Tuesday in Farmers Branch, Texas, and online. Come with us. Experience ABWA for yourself. Go to charisma.abwa.org to learn more.
Life as a business owner is risky. There's contracts, there's investments, there's lease contracts. What exactly are those risks? Sometimes it's not just what's in the contract, but what's missing that's just as important. Listen, if you don't have an attorney when you need an attorney, you are at risk. Get the oversight that your contract needs with a commercial real estate attorney that works for you to protect your interests. You can afford help, but you have to call me. My name is Jenna Zabrowski. Go to lawbyjz.com or call 214-915-2501 in order to talk to me. I'm a commercial real estate and lease lawyer with over 10 years of experience, and there is never more power in your hands than before you sign that contract. So call me before you sign that contract. I'm not your attorney yet, but if you'd like that specific legal advice, give me a call, 214-915-2501 or lawbyjz.com.
Welcome back to Relax I Got This, crushing it with your tribe, where we share real talk about building businesses and life relationships. And Grant Alexander is here, and I think he's going to tell us a little bit of Is it a horror story?
It's not.
Or
It worked
cautionary
out.
tale.
Cautionary tale. Something also to understand for folks whenever they're going through a roof. They're going through a roof replacement insurance. Everything's going to be tied to a date of loss. And the insurance companies, it's like they have a date of loss. So
and they know where that storm hit.
Yep, the
and
storm maps,
what zip code,
the size of it. It's
all of that.
Yes.
It's not like, but there was a hailstorm, and it's like they know.
They absolutely know. So my brother, who also works with me, he has a customer who has a 5% deductible, $20,000 deductible to replace a $22,000 roof. So he gets the bright idea. He's selling the house that he's going to change his insurance company, get a 1% deductible, and then file a claim with them. It's not how it works.
Not going to work.
It's going to be the date of loss. So 3 years ago, I had a customer. They had just bought their house. They had bought their house and they closed June 1st. So they moved in. They had a leak on one of their skylights. It was in University Park. Real nice house. And I'm not sure how this passed inspection. But I got up on the roof and I said, got quite a bit of hail damage on this roof. And they'd been in the house for, I think, 2 or 3 months. And so they filed their claim. I met with the adjuster, and the adjuster said, hey, there's hail here, but the only date of loss I have on here is May 16th, something like that. And they were not insured. They closed June 1st. He's like,
we didn't insure them on May 16th.
There's nothing I can do about this.
Yeah.
And which I understood.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So fortunately for the homeowners, they had the seller who had moved to Vegas. They were completely out of the house.
Yeah. They
filed a claim, even though they didn't live there anymore or they didn't own it. They filed a claim based on the date of loss. So they were able to go back because their insurance company covered them through that
date of
time
loss.
period and that date of loss. So they filed a claim, and their agreement was, okay, the new owner was going to pay the deductible amount. It's like $4,600, and they were going to send all the insurance proceeds. They were going to just send us the check. So they filed a claim. An adjuster from their insurance company came out, looked at everything. He had there's a little bit of guff that he was giving me, even though I'd already had another adjuster. Like, I knew it was hail. Another adjuster was like, yeah, this is hail, and marked it up. And he was like, yeah, okay. Because, really, if they're not insuring this property anymore, they don't want to pay for it.
Well, I'm surprised that they even considered it.
I'm
kind of floored that they even said, yeah, we'll.
Well, and I only bring it up because it's a possibility.
Sure.
So you can actually go back to, and luckily the sellers, they moved off to Vegas. They could have just told them to pound sand.
Yeah, exactly.
But they went ahead and said, yeah, we'll file the claim. They probably felt like, hey, we didn't take care of it under our watch.
That's nice responsibility on, taking our accountability for it, but they certainly had they had no obligation.
Yep. To
do that.
And so it absolutely worked out. And so another thing that you can, I guess I'm bringing that up because you can actually close on the house and like the roof. I don't know contractually how you guys do it, but like you can plan the roof at a later date with the proceeds from the insurance company from the previous owner.
I can see how you're doing that.
Yeah.
I can see how you're doing
as long as
the claim is done, you don't care as far as installing a roof. You don't care when it's done.
As long as we have, we're going to get payment.
So here's a question for you. I used to think, and you've corrected me since then. You've called me on that there was 4 years from date of loss to the ability to file a claim, and maybe it was that way in the past, and that was true, but it's not necessarily true anymore. As you corrected me, like, well, now and every insurance company is going to look at it differently, but sometimes it's just a year from date of loss.
It is, and it's important to read your paperwork because they're putting it in and they're changing it. And then I've also been told that's kind of the other part about this. Every insurance company is different, and then every adjuster is different. Even within the same insurance companies, I've had adjusters that were not independent third party. They were actually staff adjusters tell me completely different things, and and that's why sometimes my advice to people is if it's 50-50, like, let's go ahead and file the claim, get the insurance company to do the financial lifting, and then you'd have your deductible. And then if worst case, if you have to pay for it out of pocket or we do some repairs, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But the nice thing is if you're selling a house and you can say to the buyer, like, hey, we're getting you a brand new roof, it's a good
leverage. It's good leverage. So we get a lot of hail in North Texas.
Quite a bit.
And it usually comes through, and it comes from the west, and it goes through Arlington and hammers Highland Village, and then across Colony, Frisco, down into Richardson, and just trashes the whole North Texas.
Yeah, I'm waiting for it to hit Farmers Branch. That way I can just sit in a golf cart and drive to all my neighbors' houses. And
well, Capel's in its little bubble as well,
true.
right? We did get dinged a little bit the other day, but so if there's only a 1 year. So, I mean, do we call our insurance company every year and say, or do I call you once a year and have you come look at my house?
So
what do we do?
What I've been, right, it's a good rule of thumb, especially for the insurance companies, to say like, hey, you've got a year. It's really hard to say, well, no, this is 2020 hail versus 2021 hail versus 2022 hail. The moral of this is, even if you're not going to file a claim, even if you're not going to do your roof right away, at least get somebody to look at it and just be ahead of it.
Kind of like what's the word I'm looking for? It's just like a benchmark. So let's go look at it in May of 2022 and we know where we are. So you're absolutely fine. No problem. And then we have a hailstorm, even if it's like little Capel hail or Highland Village hail, right? There's two different things.
Yeah,
Highland Village hail is like the size of a softball, and Capel hail is like the size of a pea.
So I've had a customer that I looked at her roof. I looked at her roof 5 times. And the 5th time, I was like, hey, it's time. Let's go. She had some small hail. Maybe would have gotten covered in the past, but probably not. And it's, my thing with this is I want to play the long game.
Yeah.
Of having, customers for life and, getting referral partners and, it's in everything I've done, even when I was doing the personal training, my thought was like, what would I tell myself? What would I do on my own house? What would I do with my own body? And that's kind of how I would go about, this. If it's unnecessary to file a claim, I could probably get it bought and make some money off a roof, but do you need that? Probably not.
Right.
In long term, I'm going to get referrals from that customer. I'm eventually going to get their roof.
You get their roof, their neighbor's roof, their cousin's roof.
All their family.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
what is one thing that we didn't talk about real briefly that we need to make sure everybody knows?
Ooh.
And maybe it's not about roofing. Maybe it's about you.
I don't have any. I'm drawing a blank.
Okay.
I apologize.
I did. I just I flung that at you.
No, I should be good. Just roof inspection is free.
Yeah.
So just get it looked at.
Just get it looked at. And I just can't stress from the real estate side, because when you've got a buyer under contract and then this inspection report comes back, I mean, you went and looked at one and you called me. It was down in South Dallas, and not convenient. Not convenient.
That was a good, I think it was an hour and 15.
Yeah, it wasn't convenient. And he said, I wouldn't walk away from that roof. I would run away from that roof because it did have all kinds of things going on with it.
All sorts of stuff.
But he also, and maybe it's because he likes me, I don't know. He did also go back and look at it after somebody else did the roof. And he said they did a good job.
That's called the long game.
That's
playing the long game.
But he also knew he'd get my next roof too. There you go.
Yes.
So tell everybody how they can find you.
We are at www.absolutedfw.net. My contact information is just my cell phone, 469-964-2764, or my email is grant@absoluteteam.net, not .com, .net. And I can usually get out, within 48 hours. take a look at your roof and set you up for success, put together a plan. A lot of my customers that I've met with right now are like, well, I don't know. So let's just wait till the fall.
Yeah.
Let's just see. You're not in danger of an immediate leak. We can tarp it if you need it. But you probably don't. But, let's address it in the fall.
When let the spring hailstorms come dance their way through North Texas.
The heat's going to open it up a little bit. But, cooler weather in the fall. And it allows me to stay busy year round. Yeah. And not just, in March or April.
So, all right. Well, thank you so much for coming.
Yes,
I really appreciate it. Like I said, every now and then I get on a soapbox about one or two things, because if it happens more than once, it's going to happen more than once again. So thanks for joining me, Grant. I appreciate it. As a Texas realtor, I have the unique opportunity to meet great people in a wide range of industries. If I can help you with any of your real estate needs, or if you need the services of those in my tribe, make sure you reach out. All of Grant's information will be in the show notes. So give him a call, have him come out and take a look at, the top layer of your biggest asset.
Let's get on top of it.
Oh, shaboom boom. Who you're in business with matters. Thanks for dropping in. Come back again and hear us on Relax, I Got This, crushing it with your tribe.
You've been listening to the Relax, I Got This podcast with Robin McCoy. To become a member of Robin's tribe or find out about guest and sponsor opportunities, call 214-226-3770. For DFW home sales information, go to robinmccoyrealty.com. Relax, I Got This, crushing it with your tribe is produced for the OBBM network and available wherever you're listening to podcasts. Unauthorized use of the Relax, I Got This podcast or the OBBM network podcast brands are strictly prohibited. Call 214-714-0495 for permission requests and program information.